Welcome back to section 2 of this important chapter. In the last video, we labeled information as the most valuable commodity for leadership. And besides Gordon Gekko, also Sun Tzu and Bruce D. Anderson joined that point of view. So we are in good company on that issue. In addition, I personally also broke with the sentence that business is war. Although we do acknowledge that there is a lot to learn from military literature for leadership, that comes with the fact that alignment and cooperation is for sure a decisive military factor. But the sentence, business is war, transport an aggressive attitude to business and leadership, which is simply wrong. It is not that it's just out of fashion in our time now, but it's wrong because value is created by cooperation. And that is what leadership, and especially leadership in business, is about, creating value. Also, I said that asking questions is not always popular. And I want to talk about that one a little bit more in this video. Decisions are very often emotional, and people are more in search for supporting arguments than in search for open research. It is not rare, and it's not a rare phenomenon that you find yourself within a bubble. And inside those bubbles, there's no real rationale. If the inhabitants of such a bubble follow their ideas and ideas become ideologies, they will call everybody stupid or even a traitor who's trying to collect additional information. I've seen that. And I'm not saying that because it's a rule, but be prepared for that phenomenon. If you are in charge long enough, I guarantee you will experience that more than once during your career. And if you want to be a true leader, a strategic leader, you must be aware of this phenomenon. Recently, I was called in to coach for a business plan, and the initiators, pretty young, were very much in love with their idea. Nothing wrong with that. And when I asked why nobody was doing that particular business before, the answer was, well, we are smart and everybody else is stupid. Well, that's dangerous. And a little bit of research in the internet showed somebody was thinking about that idea before and did not do it for a good reason. And asking questions and doing research is not a sign of a negative mindset. Actually, quite the opposite. But you will be probably, well, it happened to me, you will be accused that you just want to destroy a good idea by asking questions. It happens. Well, building up a critical mass of knowledge, that is actually what we need to do, gathering facts. And we already defined a structure to categorize our knowledge in the previous section. I talked about the 3 stages, and let me quickly go through that once more and enhance it by building up what I call the information matrix. Well, here is the information matrix. Let me show it to you. On the horizontal line, you have the 3 stages. I'll repeat once more. Stage 1, the now, everything that relates to the current situation. Then you have stage 2, the bridge, also known as the investment. Every information regarding how to get to your new reality. And then there's stage 3, the achievement, every information describing your new reality. How does the world look like if you have turned your intention into an achievement? On the vertical line, you can categorize your information. I suggest you put things like people, time, cash, assets as a basis, but also risk and emotions. Try to get these 3 stages into your active vocabulary. It's like, okay, what is this letter about? Oh, that is a clear stage 1 info. Whatever I do, this is relevant. Next one. okay, there's a major claim against these web designers. I wanted them to build the new website for that intention I'm focusing on right now. That could be a stage 2 risk, probably even a stage 3 risk if I call them to maintenance on that website. Things like that. Trust me, this will help you. This structure will help you. You can witness this a lot in meetings, talks, and discussions. When 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of information are mentioned and coming in new, people lose overview. Not you. Store this matrix in your brain. Do not write it down. Don't create a silly spreadsheet or something like that. The idea is to have that as a structure to moderate a discussion. Please train yourself to go through all of this inside your head, inside your imagination. It is about developing a skill to categorize information and to have this matrix in front of your inner eye, if you allow me to say it this way. I will not go through every field of that matrix. That would be a dull exercise, but we will talk about it a little bit more. So, first one is, what are the resources you need for your current operations? What do you need now? So we do talk about stage 1. And please always do this first. You have to know stage 1. Why? Because your resources are always limited. And you have to know what you additionally can spend. Not knowing your current situation, not knowing stage 1 is, out of my personal perspective, a massive management failure. And I've seen it a lot. Now, what is a massive failure here? Well, you might think you know the answer, but I'm tricking you a little here. It's not only that you do not know your current resources. It's not only that you do not know some numbers. It's not only that you're not knowing the current situation of your team. That is not the true failure. Well, it is a failure, but I'm talking about respect. Respect for your team, for your co-workers, your employees. Now, this is me. This is Frank Wiekhorst. I feel to give somebody you don't know what he is currently doing an additional task is one of the biggest proofs of carelessness you can do. I repeat what I said before. Leadership is about people. And as a manager, as a leader, you are supposed to know what your people are doing and how much effort it is, what they are doing. There's a quote going through all the social medias these days. And the quote is, people do not leave companies, they leave managers. Well, this is it. Here we are. If you as a manager don't know the effort somebody is spending on something and you don't know where that particular individual is on his corresponding learning curve, you are basically telling her or him that you don't value his work at all. Best case, they leave you. Worst case, you create another burnout victim. And of course, there's a third alternative you should care as a manager about. I'm talking about those who do not work at all, or just a little bit, and you pay their inefficiency. That happens quite often as well. People sitting in their offices basically buried alive, not doing too much, but writing extra hours to make sure nobody gives them additional tasks. Well, all these are possible results of not knowing the current situation. I give you another aspect of not knowing the current situation. Let us go back to the example where we said we want to rise at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. Well, that sounds fair and doable. Well, yes, but if you make that decision at 2 a.m. in the morning after having slept for 48 hours for whatever reason, you might run into a resource problem. Got it? Another one, situation does make a difference, for sure. And scheduling a meeting at 7 a.m., yes, you can do that. But please, not 11 p.m. the night before. If you do that, and I've seen it as well, you really made clear you don't care about your coworkers. Situation does make a difference. What can be accomplished obviously depends on your current situation. So the best thing for us would be to get really good in describing our current situation as accurate as possible. Let us assume we are in a corporate environment, probably a marketing company, a fashion fabric, a bakery, or even some sort of automotive supply manufacturer. Whatever you want, whatever you want. What are the questions to be asked to understand your immediate current needs? Well, whatever you do, start with your personnel. You should know what your people are doing and how much effort they are spending on their jobs. Leadership is about people. If you think it's true, that already is a tricky one. And I'm pretty sure most managers have no idea how much effort all the little tasks their employees accomplish really take. And I admit it, it's not easy to find out. I suggest you ask the people around you what they are working on and make them calculate their efforts on their own. I mean, trusting people around you is a good first approach. And yes, it's true, when asking people about what they are doing and how much effort they spend on their daily jobs, they will definitely push back. Nobody likes to be controlled and monitored. But what you as a leader must avoid at all cost, your people constantly working over hours. Over hours simply mean that someone has not calculated effort accurately. Again, constant over hours, and I mean that, are an indication for management failure. And explaining that to your employees might have the effect that they are communicating more openly about their tasks and efforts. If they do some more hours, if they work some hours more because they are working on their career and want to do the extra mile, so be it. But that extra hours are their choices and not a call from management. That's a difference. And if you believe I just opened a back door for overhours, you couldn't be far away from the truth. Now, here's something else I want to tell you. It's not nice. To earn respect by doing overhours is just for those who lack creativity, are not capable of delivering impressive results, or very often have low self-confidence. It sounds harsh, I fully agree. Still, it doesn't change the fact that it's true. After you have an idea what the people around you are doing and your surrounding are doing, you can go on with the next step, item, perhaps machines. You can ask questions about capacity. Is the production per time already to max or not? Or you ask for your stocks. If you're a bakery, question could be, do we have enough flour for the next 2 days on stock? And if you are in a commercial environment, you might want to check on your liquidity, on your cash flow. In general, do calculations on people, time, cash, and assets. Assets like cars, machines, tools, whatever you need to do your job. People, time, cash, assets at first. You probably already noticed I'm not giving you a recipe how to calculate on people, time, cash, and assets. You can do this any way you want and adapt it to your needs. Whatever methodology you choose, it will do as long as you do think about these topics. The question is not, did I calculate correct? The question is, did I think about people, time, cash, and assets? And that question will lead you to calculations, aiming to the question, is there any shortage on people, time, cash, assets? You got it. Those calculations are your foundation for leadership. You're totally aware of your current situation. You know where you stand. And then you go on with stage 2. What do I have to do to turn my intentions into reality? And again, people, time, cash, and assets. And then stage 3, same game. And this defines you as a sound leader. Structured knowledge. Take that away. Structured knowledge defines you as a leader. That is the core of this chapter.